Puneet, let's start our snap on power systems. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So, what is fault level in power systems?
Sir, a fault level is basically any rated value of fault. Like for different fault, different types of fault, there is a fault current that might be referred as the fault level of that particular fault.
So, you mean to say fault level is the fault current of a particular fault?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the need of fault analysis? Why we have to do fault analysis?
Sir, it is mainly done to know the two things. The For the designing of the circuit breaker, so that we know how much the maximum fault current that it has to withstand at some point. And sir, also for relay making as well. So like what is the minimum value it has to work on, so that it can detect the fault.
Okay. Sometimes relay will give unnecessary signal. Means though the fault is not a permanent fault. Okay, relay will give trip signal to circuit breaker. What that fault is called as? There is one kind of fault for which relay and circuit breaker operation is not required, but relay will sense it as a fault and it will give trip signal to circuit breaker. That fault is what fault?
Sir, that is the LG fault, sir.
For LG fault, you mean to say relay should not work?
Sir, it should work, but it sometimes give the false signal because of the transients. It sends the transient as the fault. So transient vanish like immediately, but the circuit it gives the command to circuit breaker and it isolates our system, which is not desirable.
Okay, then how to avoid this condition?
Sir, we can use the time setting of the relay to such a level that uh, it exceeds the time of the transient. Like for let us assume if transient is for 1 second, then the relay time setting should be 1.5 seconds or 1.2 seconds.
What can you name? Can you name some relays with this time setting?
Yes, sir. IDMT relays.
What is the
In
full form of IDMT?
Sir, it stands for inverse definite minimum time relay.
Okay, then what is DMT?
Sir, definite minimum time relay.
What is the difference between DMT relay and IDMT relay?
Sir, IDMT relay works on the principle of inverse relationship. For like,
What?
for example, if the fault current versus the time of operation is inversely related, like very huge value of fault, then time of operation would be less, and for a low fault level, the time of operation would be uh, more. And in case of DMT, that is the direct minimum time relay, it is directly proportional. As the fault increases, the time of operation increase.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Which fault is more severe fault on transmission line?
Sir, triple LG fault, line to line to line to ground fault.
What is the difference between triple L and triple LG faults?
Sir, in triple L and triple LG fault, difference is that uh, severity. First of all, the severity of fault. The triple LG fault is more severe as compared to the triple L, and the fault level, fault current as well.
Okay. Triple L is
Yes,
balanced fault or unbalanced fault?
sir, it is a balanced fault.
Triple LG?
Sir, it is also a balanced fault.
So both the faults are balanced. Then is there any current flow in triple LG fault from phase conductors to the ground? If you take a triple L and there is some connection to the ground, okay, is there any current that is flowing to the ground? You got the question, or shall I
Yeah,
repeat?
yes, sir, I understood. Sir, actually, for it's like it is self-balancing fault. So, for an instant, I believe there is fault current flowing through phase to ground, but then it
No, as you said, If triple G fault is a balancer fault, then there should not be any current that is flowing through the ground.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. See, when fault occurs,
Yes, sir. Yes.
electric power output will change, right?
Yes, sir.
Acceleration power is going to increase. Pi is equal to P steam input minus P electrical power output. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, acceleration power increases, then the rotor will accelerate, due to which speed is going to be more than synchronous speed. If speed
Yes.
increases, then frequency is going to increase. Does the change in this frequency we are considering or not considering during fault analysis?
No, sir. We are not considering the change in frequency during fault analysis.
Okay. So fault analysis we are conducting on no load generator. May I know the reason why?
Sir, fault analysis basic principle is to get the ratings for designing different equipments, and under no load condition, we can get the most of those values, whichever we are
Means
taking.
what? Most of those values means what?
Like, sir, if I'm particularly talking about the circuit breaker, then we are talking about the fault current, and if we are taking the no load condition, so that the most and most like maximum of the fault current value that is theoretically possible can be calculated, and hence the circuit breaker designing can be done on that basis,
So
so that
you mean to say the worst possible fault current will be found during only no load generator, right? If the generator is not loaded.
yes, sir.
Because pre-fault voltage is more than pre-fault voltage of a no load generator is more than pre-fault voltage of a loaded generator. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Then let me go for the next question. Yeah. What does it mean by a stable system with respect to power system?
Sir, stable system is that system which attains its equilibrium position even if there is some variation in the load.
Okay.
For example,
Variation, variation in
like
the load. Fault is considered or fault is not considered for us
yes,
stability
sir.
analysis.
Fault is considered, sir. Even like we can also say that that attains at equilibrium position even if there is fault.
Okay. So
Yes,
we have two types of disturbances in power system. Can you list
yes,
those
sir.
two types of disturbances?
Sir, over voltage and under voltages.
That is a disturbance.
Sir,
See, if load is
uh,
changing, is it not a disturbance?
yes, sir. It is variation of load is a disturbance.
A fault occurs, is it not a disturbance?
Yes, sir, it is also a disturbance.
So among these two, which one is a large disturbance? Change of load or fault?
Sir, we cannot determine like if the change of load is a sudden change of a large magnitude, then it is a more big disturbance, and if the fault occurring is the most severe type of fault, then it is the most biggest disturbance. So we cannot give a verdict whether load variation is a bigger fault or a fault occurrence.
Generally, with respect to practical power system network, load changes are big disturbances or faults are big disturbances.
Sir, I believe fault occurrence is a bigger disturbance
Okay.
in general.
What does it mean by contingency?
Sir, contingencies means difficulties,
Okay.
problems that we face.
I'm asking with respect to power systems.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Like, for example, contingencies in fault analysis, something like that.
How to improve stability of a power system network?
Sir, stability can be improved by improving the power factor of the system.
So how we are going to improve the power factor?
Sir, by using synchronous condensers.
Okay. See, stability of a system is related to disturbances or power factor.
Sir, disturbances.
Then why we are saying that power factor we have to improve stability?
Uh, Sir, stability can be improved by uh, keeping the load angle delta less than the delta max.
What is delta max?
Sir, whenever the fault occurs, we do the fault analysis using the swing equation, wherein the delta max is that maximum value of delta above which, if the delta increases, the generator becomes out of synchronism due to increase of speed. The speed keeps on increasing and it becomes out of synchronism.
Okay. What happens if the generator is out of step or out of synchronism?
Sir, breakdown will occur. The speed keeps on increasing and the shaft will break down.
Okay. Fine. So let me give you the feedback, Puneet.
Yes, sir.
Almost 16 questions I asked. What is fault level? Fault level is a short circuit MVA. This is the MVA that is dealt by the synchronous machine during fault.
Okay, sir.
Okay. What is the need of fault analysis? Yes, you given correct answer. That is to design protection system equipment. That is a rating of circuit breaker and relay. Okay.
Yes,
IDMT
sir.
relay, even correct answer. DMT relay is a definite minimum time. Means with respect to fault current, the time is neither going to increase nor decrease. It will maintain same time. Means the fault current is 100 amperes. The
Yes,
operating
sir.
time is 0.3 seconds. Fault current is 1000 amperes. Operating time is 0.3 seconds only.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
there is
sir.
no relationship between definite minimum time. Some minimum amount of time is kept for that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
As you said, in inverse definite minimum time, as time is increasing, as fault current increases, the time taken for the
Time
relay to
decreases.
operate is going to decrease. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, technically, there is no difference between triple L and triple LG fault. Both are same.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Technically, yes, both are exactly same. There is no difference. No current is flowing from three phase to the ground. Why? Because it is a three phase balanced fault.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if there is no current that is flowing, you can represent the with open circuit also. If no current, yes, it can be represented with open circuit, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, then it will same only.
Yeah. During fault analysis, yes, we are not considering the changes in frequency. Okay. That you can
Okay,
correct
sir.
answer.
Yes, sir.
Why we are doing fault analysis on no load generator? Why? Because yes, you can correct answer. That is pre-fault voltage of no load generator is more when compared to loaded generator. What
Yes,
is a
sir.
stable system? Yes. Yeah, you given partially correct definition. If the system or synchronous machine or synchronous generator is able to get its equilibrium position even after experiencing a disturbance. Okay. The disturbances in power system network are load changes and faults. Load changes are small disturbances. Faults and contingencies are large disturbances. I'll tell you what does it mean by contingency. You given rank answer for contingency. Contingency means disconnection of one of the biggest equipment. Suppose if there is a power transformer which is handling 500 MVA, if that power transformer got disconnected from the system all of a sudden, that is called as contingency. It's a huge change, big disturbance. Okay, huge change and big disturbance. How to improve stability? See, stability is a big part. There are many methods to improve stability. From the equation P is equal to mod Vs mod Vr by X into sine delta. Okay, if you reduce reactance of the machine and transmission line, then delta we can decrease. If delta is less, then we can say that our system is more stable by operating with more voltage. There are many methods to improve stability. Okay, by reducing the
Yes, sir.
reactance of a synchronous machine, or by I can say by putting series capacitance in the transmission lines.
Sir, what equation you just said right now?
How to
Vs
improve
minus V.
how to improve stability?
Yes, sir. You used a equation, right? Vs
Yeah,
minus Vr.
power transfer equation mod Vs mod Vr by X into sine delta, or electric active power transfer equation of a synchronous machine or transmission line.
Okay, sir.
Please go through the topic stability once again. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What happens if the synchronous machine is out of step? Forget about the mechanical damage or the shaft breakdown. If you look at the equation, P is equal to P max into sine delta. Once the angle crosses 180 degrees, now the synchronous generator is going to act like a motor instead of
Yeah,
instead of delivering power to the grid. It is trying
it
to absorb from.
absorbing.
Now
Yes, sir.
what
Yes, sir.
happens is, if it really absorbs, it has to run like a motor. We are rotating with help of a turbine, the rotor of synchronous generator in one direction, but the motor, synchronous motor tries to rotate in opposite direction, then shaft will damage. But before this happen, there is a relay called reverse power relay, which will recognize the power flow from grid to the machine, and that machine will be disconnected from grid. That is called as out of step. That machine is out of step and it is not able to supply any power to the grid. So like this, see, now that machine got disconnected, remaining machines will be overloaded. In that way, one by one, all the generators will be disconnected from grid. That is called as grid failure.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the feedback. Okay, your performance is satisfactory. Yes.